Hello, everyone. Welcome to this video for Men's Minds Matters. I am your host, Aaron Ryder, and today we will be talking about a very important topic, which is interfering with contact. Now, there are a lot of different ways that this occurs in a relationship, and there's a lot of negative impacts that it has on your child. One thing that this is a part of, we talked previously about loyalty conflicts, and you can imagine that this is one of the techniques that an ex will use to create a loyalty conflict or reinforce a loyalty conflict. So let's start by looking at what the definition of it is for our purposes. Your ex may try to cut off or reduce contact with you. This includes refusing to allow your child to contact you or communicate with you in any way. This allows your ex to be the most influential voice your child hears, as well as decreases your child's bond with you. So one of the most important things that you have with your child in a co-parenting situation is communication, is that relationship, is that bonding that goes on with your child. And this particular type of loyalty conflict, interfering with contact, is a way to cut that off. And when they do that, that reduces your bond with your child. And of course, it means that your child will be more likely to go and be with your ex as the favored person in this situation. So let's talk about how to handle this. First, in all things, we want to talk about what not to do. First of all, do not give up on contact. No matter how hard it is, no matter how gut-wrenching it is, never give up contact with your kids. Always continue to try. Always put in the effort. If it means you don't take that job promotion, don't take it. If it means you give up your free time to go coach the kid at a sporting event, do it. Do whatever you can. When it's your scheduled parenting time, be there. Even if the ex refuses, do not give up on your child. Even if they don't see it, they will eventually see some of it and know how much you tried. There are lots of stories about parents who their contact was interfered with only for the child to later find out. And then everything that parent did will come out, and it will influence that child. And if you've been trying to maintain contact, that will be a positive influence. The next thing is to allow your anger to darken your parenting time. So you might be angry about your ex trying to interfere with contact, but man, when those kids are around, put on your happy face, be the fun parent, do what you can, and if you need to sulk and brood, do that when your kids are not around. Do your best to make sure that your parenting time with your kid is as positive as possible. The next thing you don't want to do is confiscating communication devices or limiting contact. So do not cut off the flow of information the other direction. Simply because the other parent is limiting contact doesn't mean that you should do the same thing. That will only reinforce this interfering with contact, and it may lead into some other loyalty conflict behavior that your ex is trying to get into. So those are what not to do. Don't allow those things to happen. So my question is, what can you do to make to make it work? How do you cope with it? Number one, create quality time. Whatever time you have with your kids, whether that be an hour a week or every other week you have time with them, create quality contact. A lot of parents I work with, for example, if they have a job, they will work 60 hours one week and work 20 hours the next week because that's the week that they have their kids. So they can spend quality time with them. Put away the phone, clear your schedule, do whatever you can to make sure that the time that you do have, especially if it's limited time, is quality time, because quality time can often outdo quantity of time. Next thing is removing distractions. So again, put away that cell phone. Try not to do too many things that get away from that relationship. If you can avoid working, I know we all have jobs and we got to pay the bills, and that's not always possible, but do your best to make those as positive times as possible. And that create connections while you are apart. There are a lot of great ways to create connections with your kids. The first thing is taking pictures with them. Of course, you can, within reason and understanding, send them some messages while they're gone. You can also give them a small gift that they can have, a toy that they bring back and forth. And also with that, if your ex is sending a toy, don't keep that away from your child. It's okay to let your child cuddle with a toy because they miss mom or dad. It's fine. And then you are allowed to do the same thing. So create connections with your child so that your child remembers that time fondly when they're away from you. So, how do we be non toxic? How do we prevent this from happening? So, always make sure, and this is a practical thing, always make sure that your ex's contact information is on important forms. Establish group texts or communications with those who care for and educate your child. And always make sure to notify your ex of important upcoming events and changes. So, it's a lot there, but do not exclude your ex's information. They are just as much of a parent as you are. If you are setting up a parent teacher time, make sure that they can attend there as well and they know when it is. I know it's hard. I know you don't want to spend time with your ex, but it's important that they be involved with anything pertaining to the kids. Group chats and group texts are a great way to do that. I know that even with my own kids, we will do this, where we will create a group text between the teacher, or whoever is working with my kid, and then both my wife and I are in it. We live in the same house, so we do talk a lot, but it makes it a lot easier when all of us are communicating together. So you better believe that that strategy is going to work well if you're dealing with a two-house situation. So always make sure your ex is included, and make sure that you let them know as soon as possible. I understand that you don't want your ex in your life and you may not want to tell them important information, but the way to be non toxic is to make sure that you're sharing those things with your ex. I know loyalty conflicts can be challenging. When another parent is trying to interfere with your time with your child, it can be challenging. But if you take these very positive steps and avoid the negative steps, it will help to keep your relationship with your child strong. And I encourage you to do that. So thank you very much for watching this episode of Men's Minds Matters. I definitely appreciate it, especially if you hit that like button and that share button and you want to follow along as we're going to continue to put out more videos. And we have a lot more left in these toxic co-parenting videos that we hope to be sharing with you in the next coming weeks. So stick around for those. We look forward to going over them with you. Thanks and have a good day.